I want to know, what's your prep going in to like a work day, like your day-to-day life when you're preparing for your show. Are you sitting at home when you get home from the show? I know you have a great relationship with your wife and you hang out with her and your kids, but you always digest some sport that night or some kind of content that night. Are you watching that content thinking you're going into your show? Because you always pull something from what you watched the night before. Is that all, like, how do you prepare for all this, like a 3-hour show?
Well, I really prepare for a 1.5 hour show. And then I usually have a guest in the last hour and I let the show develop. So you can't prepare for the whole show, nor do I want to. I want to let it breathe. So my first hour is a lot of me just sort of erupting and giving you, emoting, vomiting. Here's my takes. And then I tease stuff. Top of the hour, I do Colin right, Colin wrong, the hierarchy, Blazing 5. So I try to either before I go to bed or drive home have my lead. I don't want it cluttered. I don't want to hear anybody else's opinion. I'll turn on music driving in or a news radio station. I'm kind of formulating it as I drive in. I drive in, I've got a big staff, and they lay out 20 stories. I pick 5. I usually have the first 2 big takes of the day. But then it's about 90 minutes. We just pitch. I have guys say funny lines. I write a funny line down. Yesterday, we didn't get our lead until the very last take. Like somebody said something and I said, oh, that's really funny. And so a lot of times instead of building out in, I'll build in out. So if somebody gave me a great line, I'll find the line and I'll figure out a way to build around the line. So a guy gave me a line a couple days ago. I was talking about Tua looking small. And one of the guys in the room, I said, Phillip Rivers. That's what I want my quarterback to look like. And a guy in the room said, you like your quarterbacks like you like your furniture, big and hard to move. And I said, that's a great line. I'm going to build around that line. So I didn't have a topic. I said, that's a funny line. Let's build a Tua topic around that. Because it was one of those topics I was like, I don't know if it's a topic. It's a topic. I like the line so much. Yeah. That's the payoff to the audience. So sometimes I build out the big topics, Dan Hurley, we build it. Other times I just get a funny line and I think that's too good of a line. That'll go viral. That's funny. And I had 4 friends text that to me, like in the building. They're like, that's good. So sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't, but we spitball in the morning.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, we're not into being right. I'm not interested in that. We want to get it right. Let's just have the right topic, the right story. It's not about winning the room. Shit, I don't care if I'm wrong. If you got a better take, I'll take it. And so I'm the oldest guy in the room. I have a lot of young guys without kids. They'll often watch every game. I'll watch most, but, on Sunday, I just sit down with a notepad. But I like people sometimes to just, hey, this game last night's fascinating. Here's a moment in it. I watch a 6-minute YouTube clip. I play catch up. We write stuff around it. So it's very collaborative. It's very much about the team. The team knows my sensibility, what makes me laugh, what doesn't. I don't care about the guests until the show starts. It's about me. It's called The Herd. It's not called The Guest. Yeah. So you have to, that's a Rush Limbaugh thing. You got to drive your show. The guest is wonderful. Like if you're on, I'm like, oh, that's 20 minutes. We're going to get a number. But if I don't get a number in the first hour, the show doesn't rate. Yeah. So I got to win the first hour. Then I'm going to tease you in the second hour. So I try to put my best guest at 5 after the second hour. I tease it. And then you pop. Well, if my first 2 hours pop, the third's fine. Yeah. So there's a real science to it. Yeah. There's a methodology to it.
It's situational TV, folks.
Kind of. It's
situational TV. What do you got, Kyler?
Well, this is amazing. I love this. I'm soaking all this up because we're kind of new into the podcast media game. And Jules is not lying. We'll have you on pretty much all morning, and then it'll switch to McAfee, and that's pretty much how our days are. So you mentioned that you kind of like to start with a nugget or like a line.
Sometimes, yeah.
So let's say you come up with the Tua is small. Now, will you have something like that affect your opinion, or will you say, I think Tua is X, Y, and Z as just a personality or how you view the game, and Tua small is a good thing because he's in shape and he's ready for this season, or Tua is not looking like, does that alter?
I'm loyal. Bill Maher always says this. I'm loyal to the show. I'm loyal to whatever the best content is.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in New England, you become, there's an affinity with the team because I just watched everything. So there's people you like and players you like, and that absolutely shades your view on something. I found myself, I liked the intellect of New England. I like the toughness, the resilience, the intellect. I like smart football. So yeah, you that way. Or I would say every city I live in, when I like UConn basketball.
Yeah.
I would have never picked UConn. I like their grittiness, their toughness. So we're loyal to the content. Whatever the best joke is or the best story is. So for me, I'm loyal to the show. I want Caleb Williams to be unbelievable. And then all of a sudden, Detroit pulls back and you're like, oh, now we got a cat fight. Now Detroit's overrated. Here comes, and we're calling Caleb a Mahomes by week 8. That's just good for the show.
Yeah.